You have been told that brain fog and memory loss are the inevitable cost of time. They were wrong. Your brain is not dying. It is suffocating. There is a switch inside your skull, a biological mechanism designed to flush toxins and metabolic waste from your neural tissue while you sleep. Right now, in most people walking this earth, that switch is jammed in the off position. And every foggy thought, every forgotten conversation, every moment you walk into a room and cannot remember why you are there, is not a sign of age. It is a distress signal, a scream from neurons drowning in their own waste. By the end of this video, you will hold the ancient key to flipping that switch back on. Not through supplements, not through prescriptions, through a single breath pattern that the masters of old guarded as sacred, and that modern neuroscience has now validated as the most potent tool for cognitive reversal known to humanity. The question is not whether your brain can regenerate. The question is whether you will activate the mechanism that allows it to. Close your eyes for just a moment and picture the inside of your skull. For most people, what exists there is not the clean, electric network you imagine. It is a stagnant pond, thick with metabolic sludge. Proteins that should have been flushed days ago now coat your synapses like rust on abandoned machinery. Your thoughts move slowly, not because your neurons are weak, but because they are wading through sewage. You reach for a name. It slips away. You try to focus on a single task. Your attention scatters like light through shattered glass. You feel a heaviness behind your eyes, a dull pressure that never quite leaves. This is not normal. This is not the passage of time. This is neural stagnation. And if you do nothing, if you allow this mechanism to remain jammed, the waste will harden. The pathways will close. The light inside your mind will dim until there is nothing left but shadow. But here is what they do not tell you. This state is not permanent. The sludge can be cleared. The pathways can reopen. The switch can be flipped. And the tool to do it has been hiding in plain sight for 3,000 years. In the mountains of Tibet, there existed a class of monks who lived well into their 90s, with minds sharper than men half their age. While the world around them forgot, they remembered. While others dulled, they sharpened. They possessed a secret, a breathing protocol they called tumo, the inner fire. They described it as igniting a flame at the base of the spine that rose up through the central channel, clearing blockages and illuminating the mind. To them, this was spiritual practice. To us, it sounds like metaphor. But in 2018, a team of neuroscientists at Boston University discovered something that should have shattered the foundations of modern medicine. They found that the human brain has a waste clearance system, a network of channels that flush toxins out of neural tissue and into the bloodstream. They called it the glymphatic system. And they discovered that this system only activates during deep sleep and during one other state: specific rhythmic breathing patterns that stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, the wandering nerve, the longest cranial nerve in your body, stretching from your brainstem down through your heart, your lungs, your gut. It is the master controller of your parasympathetic nervous system, the mechanism that governs rest, repair, and regeneration. When the vagus is activated, your heart rate slows, your blood vessels dilate, and cerebrospinal fluid begins to pulse through your brain in waves, flushing out the waste that has been choking your neurons. The ancients called it prana. Science calls it cerebrospinal fluid flow. They are the same thing. For thousands of years, mystics spoke of breath as the bridge between body and spirit. They were not speaking in poetry. They were describing a biological mechanism that modern science is only now beginning to understand. The breath is the switch, and you are about to learn how to flip it. Listen carefully. Your brain exists in one of two states at any given moment: neurogenesis or neurodecay, growth or rot. You cannot be in both. In neurodecay, your hippocampus shrinks by 0.5% per year. Amyloid plaques accumulate between neurons. Synaptic connections dissolve. Memory becomes a graveyard. In neurogenesis, new neurons form daily in the hippocampus. Synaptic density increases. Blood flow to the prefrontal cortex rises by up to 40%. Your mind becomes a weapon. The difference between these two states is activation, and the modern world has engineered you into decay mode. Shallow breathing from hours hunched over screens, chronic stress that keeps your sympathetic nervous system locked in overdrive, sleep deprivation that prevents your glymphatic system from ever completing a full flush cycle. You have been running your brain like an engine that never gets an oil change, and now you wonder why it sputters. But the switch still works. The mechanism is still there, waiting, and I'm about to show you how to activate it. This is the protocol, the neural reset, a breathing pattern so precise that it was once taught only to initiates who had spent years in preparation. I am giving it to you now, for free, because the world needs minds that are awake. Sit upright, spine straight. This is not optional. Posture affects cranial pressure and cerebrospinal fluid flow. If you are slouched, the mechanism will not fully engage. Place the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. The ancient Taoists called this sealing the circuit. Modern anatomy confirms it stimulates cranial nerve pathways. Now, breathe in through your nose for exactly 4 seconds. Slow, controlled, deep. Feel your belly expand first, then your rib cage, then your upper chest. This is diaphragmatic breathing, and it activates the vagus nerve on the inhale by creating pressure changes in the thoracic cavity that send signals directly to your brainstem. Hold the breath for 7 seconds. This is where the magic happens. During this hold, oxygen saturates your bloodstream. Your heart rate drops. Nitric oxide is released in your nasal passages and sinuses, a potent vasodilator that increases blood flow to the brain. And the pressure inside your skull begins to shift, mobilizing cerebrospinal fluid, preparing the flush. Now exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Slow, complete. Make a soft whooshing sound as the air leaves. This extended exhale is critical. It triggers a massive parasympathetic response. Your vagus nerve fires, your blood vessels dilate, and cerebrospinal fluid begins to pulse through your brain in rhythmic waves, flushing metabolic waste out of the tissue and into the bloodstream where it can be eliminated. 4 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, 8 seconds out. This is one cycle. After the first cycle, you may feel nothing. After the third, you will notice something shift, a sudden silence in the mental chatter. The static that has been playing in the background of your thoughts for years will begin to fade. After the 7th cycle, clarity, sharp, immediate, undeniable. Your thoughts will move like water again instead of sludge. Do this 4 times per day, 7 cycles per session. Morning when you wake, midday, evening, before sleep. Within 72 hours, you will notice the difference. Within 2 weeks, people around you will ask what you have changed. Within a month, your brain will have flushed more waste than it has in the last 5 years combined. This is not a metaphor. This is not spirituality. This is activated biology. You now possess knowledge that 99% of humanity will never encounter. The hidden switch. The mechanism that separates those who decay from those who regenerate. But knowledge without action is just noise in the void. You have a choice to make right now, in this moment. You can close this video and return to the fog. You can let the sludge settle back in. You can allow the switch to jam shut again. Or you can become someone different, someone who does not age, someone who sharpens, someone who does not forget, someone who encodes, someone who does not fade, someone who illuminates. The ancient mystery schools had a name for those who activated this protocol. They called them the awakened. Not because they achieved some mystical state of consciousness, but because they cleared the signal. They flushed the waste. They flipped the switch. They oxygenated their mind while the world around them suffocated in stagnation. If you have done the breathing technique while listening to this video, if you have felt the shift, if you have activated the mechanism, then prove it. Comment below with 3 words: I am awake. Not as poetry, not as metaphor, as a declaration of biological fact. Your glymphatic system is now active. Your vagus nerve is firing. Your brain is in a different state than it was 10 minutes ago. You are in neurogenesis. This is the first key in the codex. There are 6 more switches in your body that you do not know are turned off. 6 more ancient protocols that modern science has validated. If you want them, subscribe. The next key unlocks in 72 hours. Until then, breathe deep, stay sharp. Remember this: you are not aging.